Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Rohit Verma and I'm starting of thinking of a lecture series on my YouTube channel. And for my first lecture series, I'll be starting with quantum mechanics for amateurs. I made a code for this as QM101. Okay, that's just like to make it formal, make it look formal. But yeah, so this is a lecture series on non-relativistic quantum mechanics. Okay, so mostly Schrodinger equation and Heisenberg's theory and all those things, like all the idea which doesn't require relativity. That is like, maybe I'll make some video on relativistic quantum mechanics in future, but let's take a non-relativistic version. So who is the target audience for this? The target audience is all those people who wants to learn quantum mechanics with minimum effort. Okay, so if you try to learn quantum mechanics on your own, you'll find a vast number of sources online, and all of them differ from each other drastically. Like on the other hand, if you want to learn classical mechanics and Newtonian mechanics, then if you go to any lecture on YouTube or find any notes or books, the organization of the content there is more or less the same only. Okay, there are like very minor differences, but I think if you are reading two different books at the same time, you will be able to catch up with those differences. On the other hand, if you take quantum mechanics book, then you will see that those books differ from each other really drastically. Okay, so for example, if I talk about two most popular books, so one is DJ Griffith, which is like very basic book, very simple book and it's like beginner level. If you read that book, then Griffiths there introduces the Schrodinger equation on its first page itself of the book, and then he tried to make sense of everything starting from the Schrodinger equation. Whereas if you use the another book, which is Sakurai's book, and that is like very technical and very advanced book, he starts like from very different perspective. He starts with an vector space and state vectors and all those things, and then he derives mentions the postulates of quantum mechanics, and then from those postulates he mathematically derives the equation. Like those postulates basically implies Schrodinger equation, so they are basically mathematically equivalent, but his approach is like entirely different from what it is in Griffiths. And if you go to some other book or other notes or another lecture series, all of them have really different approaches. So now, which approach is good? It depends on you. Like all approach are good in themselves, like so, and you can learn it from any of those sources, but it will take a lot of time to try to make sense of all those. So in this lecture series, my goal is to reduce those efforts and try to give you an idea with like as straight, like I want my content, the content which I deliver, to be as straight as possible. I try to give you like as less content as possible, but in that less content I will try to give you, impart more wisdom, more knowledge. Okay, so you may think, so I might skip a few small things, but my goal is to give you the broader idea of what quantum mechanics is, how the quantum mechanics world, how do you think when you are dealing with a quantum mechanical system, and how do you think when you are solving a problem related to quantum mechanics. So my goal is to give that. Now, given that, I'll make my lectures with like each lecture very short, and I'll try to keep all the explanation as simple as possible. But like, since it's quantum, of course not everything might make sense at once. So if you think that something is not making sense, then I would recommend like just have some patience, give it some time, maybe watch the video again, or maybe wait till the next video, because sometime what might happen if I'm saying something, it might not make sense immediately, and you just need to hold on to that information for a while, and as soon as you come to the next part of the video, or maybe to the next video, then it might start making sense. Okay, so don't hurry, like don't rush into trying to understand everything at once. Give it some time, and I can assure you that after like while you will start grasping everything on your own. Okay, now my idea is to give um, give you the understanding of the structure of the theory, how the theory of quantum mechanics is structured, how the logic works here, how do you think, how do you solve, how do you model things. And my idea is to give you those understanding. And this lecture series will include mathematical derivations. Okay, so it is not for like people who don't want to deal with mathematics, because let's be frank here, quantum mechanics won't make sense at all if you don't see the mathematics. Okay, it will just sound like some magic or something. Okay, but it's not. Okay, it's a very rigorous theory, and if you really want to learn quantum mechanics in order to do something meaningful, then it's important to understand the mathematical derivations and the mathematical structure of the theory. Okay, if you just want to say know some facts, then you can skip the mathematics and try to just learn some facts from these videos. But I don't think that would be useful, and that is not really my goal in this lecture series. So if you want to do that, maybe you can watch some another like science communication videos, like some documentaries or something. I'm sure they'll be saying the same thing without any mathematical things, and like if you are interested in that. But this video is like going to be detailed, not way too detailed, but there will be enough details so that you can understand the mathematics of this theory. And my goal is that by the end of this lecture series, you should be able to understand as well as appreciate how weird quantum mechanics is. Okay, because let's be honest, quantum mechanics is not something very simple or very trivial. Okay, it will like make you think a lot. It will make you ponder like how is this true, how is this working, how is this like so weird but at the same time so perfect as well. So like those kind of thoughts might come to your head. Like if you are anything like me, at least those kind of thoughts came to my head a lot. Like I would be like, whoa, what just happened, what did I just saw. And those moments, I think, are the moments which makes which makes the journey more appreciable. Like after getting those moments, you feel like, okay, I did something worthwhile, because that is the pure pleasure which you get after learning something new, something. And when you learn something bizarre, you used to be like, it will be just like a stream of pleasure. Okay, so that's my goal in this lecture series. And since this is my first lecture series, don't think that I'll be like way too professional, and like not even professional, I would say. I would be more experienced. Okay, so all my lectures are going to be like in very informal language, and I might be making a lot of mistakes, and also please bear with me. And by the end, I hope you will be able to learn something, and not just something very small. You'll be learn something in a proper manner. Okay, so that's all from the next. This is for the introduction. From the next video, I'll start with the first lecture, and my first lecture is going to be on state variables and vectors. So thank you, and see you in the next video.